There's nothing formal.
You ready to start?
Perfect. All right, I'd like to call the March 18th Planning Board meeting for Croydon to order. And we all stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve. Well, actually, good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Morgan. I'm the chairman of the planning board. This is Aaron McKeon and our select board liaison, Kim Burkhammer, and the planning board secretary, Sharon Graver. First order of business is to approve minutes from January 7th.
Second. I make a motion that we approve the minutes from January 7th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes passed. Okay, we're missing Larry and John, it looks like. Maybe Larry will arrive in a couple of minutes, unless he's frozen. Got all that Texas blood in him right now. We have the Conservation Commission here tonight to speak to the board. So I'm going to ask you guys to come up now to the mic.
Is Jan on that too?
Yes.
Jan Mitchell's on that as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
Joe Broderick.
Hey, Joe.
Conservation Commission. Yeah, so we came tonight. We've been underway here. We've been meeting a little bit, getting some stuff figured out. So we're getting into the NRI, Natural Resource Inventory portion of the program here. That's pretty wide encompassing what that could actually be or what that couldn't be. So we were looking for some priority out of you guys for what we were looking to implement first, what we should focus that on going forward here.
Okay.
How might it relate to, I know that we were talking about the town keeping an eye on developable parcels. Maybe that would be a way to prioritize. I don't know.
You guys
How
have,
you-
yeah, absolutely. Green space, animal corridors.
One of the things that I've seen work in the past, especially when
Absolutely.
So,
This.
like I said, what you guys put together, together. Very well done. When it relates to the Conservation Commission, you had a number of items that you had identified were within the domain of Conservation Commission and some of the priorities. It sounded like, and I agree with it, it seems like to me the natural resource inventory is probably the main thing to be looking at, because I believe from where I've said it really forms the foundation of information that you're going to utilize for many purposes. So it's really, of course, said it's also required by law. I think what we're kind of struggling with here a little bit is you look at the contents of some of this stuff. It can be very complicated, or it can be not so complicated. If we're going to effectively utilize this kind of stuff, through various kinds of maps, the geography, the geology, swamps, and all that kind of stuff, and animal life, all those kinds of things, slopes, that sort of thing. All this kind of stuff has to be organized in such a fashion as at your request and so forth in the report, of being able to overlay one on the other so you can see things that work on, give you more information, more depth, that kind of stuff. And you have to, so if you're going to do that, it have to be organized the same scale, same size, all that sort of stuff, so they can overlay properly. It's something that I don't think, I'm certainly not qualified to put together. I don't know that anybody else is. I know we have individual resources for some specific questions. You can go to Google Maps, you can go to some like floodplain analysis and that kind of stuff. But I think what we're looking at is something that's a lot more encompassing and descriptive. So I guess what we're struggling with is what sort of depth of knowledge, of information are we really looking at? When I've gone around to look at the various communities, Newport, They have a fairly standard set of these kinds of natural resource inventory map structures. A lot of them are pretty common to one another. Each town seems to have some stuff that's unique to them. So I guess we're struggling with this. So how much you can go out and interface with some outfits that are experts in this area, such as the Upper Valley, Lake Sunapee Regional Planning Commission, or there's one I looked at, Moosewood Ecological, which is the outfit that did the stuff, which are expertise in all this kind of stuff, putting these kinds of things together. Or, we can try to look at something a little less sophisticated and a little more simplistic in terms of cost and time. But just trying to get a feel for
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Like I said, it's pretty open-ended. There isn't actually a legal definition for what is in one. So the big thing is we don't want to recommend spending money to someone to put one together if it doesn't do what we want it to do. Or a lot of the stuff you want to do might be free on the internet, from like UNH has a lot of references and resources on this. So yeah, just kind of scoping what we're doing in this first year here.
So we utilized Upper Valley to assist us with the master plan.
I think you talked to Megan Butts.
Yeah, Megan Butts, she does a lot with the GIS, and they have GIS
Yeah.
mappers up there. So they have a base map. Because I agree, if we can get some natural inventory maps to do an overlay, that would be very beneficial. Visuals are fantastic. So if you can see what the town looks like, and then you can do an overlay of steep slopes, and then you can do an overlay of wetland areas, and you can do an overlay of the rivers and stream banks, flood zones, if you can do an overlay of what the conservation areas are, where you think a wildlife corridor is, then you actually really see the connectivity that all of these areas provide.
Right. I totally agree. Like I said, I have talked to Megan Butts, actually. I did talk to Moosewood Ecological, who did Newport. It's the Upper Valley. Lake Sunapee Regional had done the maps for Cornish. They didn't do their conservation plan, but did the set of maps. They also did them for, I believe, Claremont and Charlestown. In Charlestown, they did some a little more sophisticated. But in every case, if you go look at what they put together, and you look at the listing of the sources they use to put this thing together, there's a lot. And it's a very detailed kind of stuff. Something that I don't think we would do.
Or may not
About engaging some of these groups. Do a very good job. So I would require, if you wanted something like that, I agree that's exactly what we're probably looking at. Require some kind of relationship with one of those organizations. There would be some cost involved. We'd have to settle on what exact list of maps we would like to see. There's some standard ones, and then we'd have some I'm sure we probably would want to have on top.
So why don't I bring that to the board for our April meeting, and we can discuss that with John and with Larry here. So everybody should be here for the April. I was super excited to learn that we had authority from the voters for conservation, because in my two experiences in life in municipalities, with Bedford, New Hampshire, and with Derry, New Hampshire, conservation played a huge role in protecting green space. In the town of Bedford, back in 2000, there were 237 acres of wooded farmland, and it was fields, and it was woods, and it was contiguous, and it would have held somewhere around 125 homes, and it would have been worth millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And because of the relationship that the Conservation Commission had with large landowners in town, that Joppa Hill project was brought to the town, and we were able to do an active and passive recreational conservation buy of that. It was like over $1 million. And one of the cool things that we have in Croydon right now is that the select board has made the decision to take some of the timber money and take some of the other money and start putting it in your conservation fund. Well, there's a reason for that as well. The reason isn't just to build up a fund in order to buy a piece of land at some point in time down the road. The reason, the more important reason is to get 3 or 4 years down the road to have an average of how much money you're collecting. Because if you're averaging $50,000 a year, that's a bond payment. So imagine bringing a piece of land to the voters that has no tax impact whatsoever, because the Conservation Commission is collecting on average $40,000 a year in timber tax and other things, and that money is going into an account and the bond payment's $20,000. You know, so one of the things that I would love to see you guys do is to look for any landowner that has greater than 40 acres and reach out to every single one of them and develop a relationship with them. Let them know that we have a conservation commission in town. Let them know that the town is actively seeking to preserve green space and preserve raw land, not only for active recreation or for passive recreation, but for the ability to control and reduce development. And a lot of people don't know how that works. A lot of people would say, well, you know, I don't want to sell the land, I'm not going to take a cut, I'm not going to sell it. It doesn't work like that. And how you explain that to landowners is super important, because they go out and they get an appraisal. Sometimes the Conservation Commission will pay for the appraisal, especially if it's really a nice piece of land. Where your maps and your slopes and all that stuff come into play hugely is somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want to sell you, 200 acres of conservation land, and I want $1 million for it. And you look at it and you go, yeah, well, it's a 70-degree slope, so I hope you do want to sell it, because you can't build anything anyway, right? So, but that knowledge is important, because you put it all together with that thing. So it would be wonderful if you guys spent some time in this year in reaching out to citizens. You can get that information from the town, has all that. We know who the large landowners are. We've been blessed to have someone move to town that is very conservation conscious and has bought almost 1,400 acres and is going to leave all of that in conservation. And that was a huge benefit for the town. This is the Goodwin property and the other stuff over on Cash Street and the stuff down opposite. The heck's that road? Barker. It's the one right here. Barton, thank you. Opposite of Barton Road, across the street for the river over there. So that would be something to really do this year, is to get a list of landowners, get a list of those people, reach out to them, let them know we have a conservation commission in town, let them know that the town would not be adverse to looking at things. It's a very simple process. You do it all in non-public. If you found a piece of land, a landowner approached you, you would just bring it to the select board, you'd say, I need to be on the agenda for non-public. You go into the back room, you talk to the select board about how many acres it is, who it is, how much land is for sale, what the price is, and then the select board can give you an idea of, yeah, you know what, we want to make moves on this. We can swing this, and we want to budget for it, or we're not interested. But the landowner is always protected. It's always confidential. The minutes are sealed. Those things are always very confidential.
You don't even have to buy the land. You can purchase a conservation easement.
Yep.
Which preserves the land. Even if they do end up selling it, a portion of that land, a goodly portion of that land, would remain open and undevelopable at all costs, at any point in time. They'd never be able to take it out of the conservation easement.
And so that's my big thing that I found with the Winter property as an example. If there had been a relationship with someone in the municipality with that family over a long period of time, that land may not have been sold the way it was. Yeah. And I'm not saying whether it would have worked or not, but it certainly isn't going to work if we don't try.
No, I agree with you. Excuse me. So one of the things I'll just kind of throw out real quickly when you're talking about the ability to kind of look at all this stuff really quickly. Outside of the base maps, which is certainly from where I said I would kind of refer to those low-hanging fruit, because they're not terribly expensive to pick up. $4,000 or $5,000 ability, and Joe's gonna come in and tell me we already have this, but that's okay. The ability, when you look in your master plan, it's overall diagram of the town, and it has basically the roads, where the fire station is, and the stream. It's an overview of the town. Imagine if you overlay tax map on top of it, all the boundaries that you could zero in on very quickly and be able to take a look and see where these properties are, who owns them, and actually have a tag on each one. If you touched it, it would tell you it's so-and-so's and so many acres and yada yada. Yep. All that stuff. I would identify whether it's in current use is conservation. It's not permanent, but it's conservation. It belongs to current use. And in fact, even in current use, some of them do have the option for public use as well. And it's another asset for the town for that kind of stuff. But that's a little more complicated than the base low-hanging fruit kind of stuff.
So I think, that's pretty much what we would like to see.
I work with a GIS map daily that has all those layers and overlays that you're talking about. I can measure and I can do drawings, and it's very sophisticated and very expensive. Just to have a paper copy with the topo and the overlays and the conservation and the recreational discount, I've worked with those years ago, and that would be a tremendous asset, right? And I think something that's more affordable for us.
You're talking about paper, but the ones that like Cornish had is, I'm sure they have it paper, but they also have it digitized. And they were talking $4 to $5 grand for the stuff that they did for Cornish. This is like that upper valley region.
Did you leave any money in my budget?
That's what I was gonna ask. I should know this, but
You're the budget guy.
do you recall if we put a line item for the
I asked for 7,500, and then you called me up, or Larry, or Russ called me up and said, "What do you need 7,500 for?" I said, "I don't know. I put it in there."
Did that go into the planning line? I think the planning board won it. I just couldn't remember if there was a conservation line item.
I don't think there was a conservation line item.
Okay.
But my question is, there was a question about cutting that or reducing that.
There was, I
Right.
did reduce it.
Yeah. What is it?
I don't remember off the top of my head too many numbers.
Okay.
However,
We'll take a look at that for the next meeting too, because that's available. We don't have anything in our budget plans this year.
So yeah, but I mean, we
So
have to.
there might be some money in there for that.
Be a little clearer on what the,
Yep.
The list of maps we would like to have,
Yep.
engage like Upper Valley, have a conversation a little bit about requirements and so forth, and get a figure.
I will
They
put
just told me what they had for what.
I'll put all of that on the April agenda, and we'll discuss it with the whole board, and we'll come back, and we'll know how much money we have.
And I'll reach out to Avatar too. They have our parcels. I know that they offer a type of GIS mapping, so let me see what they might.
Does somebody want to get some quotes on the maps we'd be interested in before the April meeting?
No, we'll task them to do that.
I mean, them.
Yeah, we'll decide on the maps, and then I'll shoot a letter.
Okay.
At least if I'm hearing you right. So going forward with that kind of information is what we really want to do. A long range, perhaps something a little more complicated, a little more expensive might be in order, but certainly something we want to pursue.
Yep, okay.
At the same time, obviously getting to know the neighborhood and who the people are and so forth.
Yeah, develop relationships with the large landowners. That's important. So that you can be on the inside on stuff.
Great. Yeah, sounds good. That's some direction, so.
Excellent.
Appreciate it.
All right, awesome, guys. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
So it's hugely important. It's a hugely important job, especially if you start having people coming to you for, "Hey, I've got 80 acres. What do you want me to do with it?" You know, it's important. Okay, next I have Neil Smith. I don't know what's going on, Neil. I know that there's a driveway involved. I have no idea what else.
Yep, so I'm just looking to get a driveway permit. My mother's building a house, and we wanted to come in off of an existing driveway. And I have a picture here to go.
Kim knows this, right? You know this?
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you have a plan?
What do
Is that what you
the building plan? Yes.
Oh, that's the building plan? I didn't get to see that. I didn't know if you had a sketch of the land.
It's all in that.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all you got? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the story with this?
What do you mean?
What is the story with this driveway? Was existing or?
So
wasn't
92
existing?
Forehand is our farm driveway. Yep. That's where we live, and we just want to come in off of that for the driveway for my mom's place.
All right.
So having a shared driveway does a little bit more. You know,
That's what I'm looking for.
that's the lot, that's the gravel drive, that's the old Woods Road. That's the subdivision plan.
Well, we know that, and we know it was already approved, so
I'm just,
I'm not gonna,
it gives you a bigger,
that's what I would do.
I don't know.
All right. So what you wanna do is you wanna use the Woods Road.
Yeah, basically we just want to come in this driveway and enter here. So, and I got an easement already for the driveway and Woods Road part.
Okay.
So yeah, just entering in off the driveway, not off of Forehand Road. Easier access.
Okay, the only problem with coming in and sharing the driveway is that, our fire department, for safety purposes, if it's a shared driveway, you're going to have to change, you have to name the driveway. So it would not be 92 Forehand Road, you have to name the driveway, change the addressing, and then the only thing you can have are those two houses on that driveway.
Okay.
If you were to.
So is there a house off of Woods Road?
No.
No, he's gonna try to he's gotta put the building permit in. It's nothing.
Right, but is there a house on the other side of that Woods Road?
There is 92 Forehand Road, which goes way up here.
Okay, but he's talking about this here, Kim, so I'm trying to figure out what's the shared driveway.
Just that
They're
first section.
sharing it here.
Oh,
This is
there,
92
okay, gotcha.
Forehand Road,
Okay,
Which is now gonna have to become something else.
okay.
So, Mr. Smith, if you were,
So you're saying that this is a driveway right now?
yes, that is a driveway which goes back into here.
Okay, and this is Woods Road.
This would become part of the shared driveway.
Okay, so then they have to name from here.
Then
here.
this would all become one shared drive. This would become a shared driveway.
Okay.
Even though this portion would be the only part of the shared driveway for this lot, this is a shared driveway. For E911 purposes, we did this on Glidden Road. The whole driveway is considered a shared driveway with the same name.
Mhm.
So that when they're responding to
For
a call,
911.
God forbid,
Yep.
they know exactly where they're going.
So this
So-
segment here gets its own name,
The whole thing
And then-
gets its own name now.
and then there's a number for their property here and a number.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're gonna have
And
to.
that's
You understand
it.
that?
Sort of. I guess. But
So-
what is the
so this is
process for
Forehand.
naming that? I guess.
This
So
is
you-
Forehand
you-
Road.
You come in and give us 3 names that aren't alliterative and aren't like Forehand Road 2 or something that's already in town, and then the select board, and it'd be nice if it was something like historical, to that area, but we need names. You can suggest a few.
And then when we did it before, I think we had them say first choice, second choice, third
Yes.
choice.
Give it to us in a list like that.
And I guess, to be clear too, like, is it just gonna stop there, or the whole driveways now?
So
like,
where
'cause
it
that's where
says
the- That's the shared
92
part.
So
You
it
know.
says 92 Forehand up here.
That will become.
Yeah, that's what the house is up.
That
there.
becomes
Yeah, that will now
92
become-
ABC Road.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it
And
might
you're-
not even be
It
92.
may not even be 92, it may change because of your house here.
Yeah.
So it might become the one that's down below, this one, because this is obviously this is an even, so this might become 2 Wilder Bush Lane, and this might become 4 Wilder
Okay.
Bush Lane. Just throwing that out
Yeah.
there. Okay.
That's my first choice.
There we go.
And they would have to update their mailing address.
Yes,
Yep.
everything would have to change. And then there's nothing else that
part's
can
kind
be
of annoying,
bid
yeah.
on, built on that unless you bring it up to.
That's
a road
regulations
standard.
for a shared
That's-
driveway.
that's
That's-
the
Yeah.
shared driveway.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're not
Shared
planning on doing anything else.
That's what you gotta do.
Shared driveway.
And then you can come in and get the permit.
But okay, so So you guys are, or this planning board or the select board is who the the name change of the
You will
road
come in with a driveway permit
to get, okay,
to here
Okay.
with that, and we'll take care of it with E911.
Okay.
And make sure you get the numbering and stuff,
And approve your road.
and we'll approve it. Well,
then
we'll
send
send it to the select
select
board
board
to
for them
approve
to-
it,
for them
but
to
you're
approve.
talking to a select board person, so.
okay,
But we'll make sure it gets to the proper people to get that done.
okay.
And we found this out the last time this happened, so that's why we know about it.
Okay. Doesn't sound too crazy. Perfect. Is there anything else?
Does he need to be on like an agenda for an upcoming meeting, or what's the?
No, just
Process.
bring the, no, because we're not gonna,
Okay,
we would do the permit as a board thing.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
And, yeah.
we're gonna have to bring it to the fire chief, so,
Yeah.
yeah, if you.
So if you can get it into Paul, get the driveway permit, the fee, get that into Paul with a sketch that what you're doing.
Should I just
you're
explain the stuff that doesn't make sense, like the entryway on Forehand Road and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Because like that's what a lot of this stuff talks about is like entering a town road, and it's not entering a town road. So just leave all that stuff blank. But
yeah,
it
just,
doesn't apply.
just say it's shared driveway off of Forehand Road,
Okay.
and we'll know the rest of it. I can write something up so everybody understands it.
Okay.
And then say and then give a cover letter that says, I am looking to share a driveway. The three names that we've selected for the name of the road are this. Please follow through the process to issue that.
Okay.
And then we can take care of getting you all in position to go to the select board for the file.
Okay.
We'll take it over to,
We have the board, we don't have any issues with it, right?
E911 and make sure that we get the number correct.
Yep.
And then we'll assign those. E911 will assign those. When that's all done, it'll come to the select board and we'll approve the road name as long as it's, again, not close to anything else because that's the big thing.
Okay.
And then you'll be issued your driveway.
Okay. All right.
There were
Thank you very
some
much.
conditions though on the naming of the driveways. They wouldn't allow drive. It
Yeah.
had to be road or.
No, it has to be lane
or.
or way, I think. And
Way.
Jason, I'm sorry, Chief Rook will change that. So if you give us Wildebrook Road and he determines that it needs to be Wildebrook Way, he'll just make that
Change.
suffix.
I mean, would it be something I could talk to him about?
Sure.
Or just to,
Absolutely.
yes. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, he's the one who determines what the suffix is. If it's
Okay.
way or lane. But that's the only issue that you're gonna have with your naming convention.
Okay. All right.
Great, thanks,
Thank you
Sam.
very much.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for coming in. Sue Kimball, Fletcher Road.
Oh, yes, so I'm representing Bob and Laura Baxter, who wish to convert.
Do you have a representation certificate?
Yeah.
No, and I called them, but they want to convert an existing garage into a,
Okay.
so,
How big is the garage?
so. I'm gonna come up here.
Come up.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna sit in my chair.
Stand.
She sits in
I
that
sit
chair.
in this chair. This is the chair. So,
Used to stand. Sorry.
Paul, so this is the existing, it's 24 by 24, and they've got a 12 by 24, or 16 by 24 covered carport. What they want to do is take 12 feet of that carport and incorporate it into the 24 by 24 garage to make it
12 by 24?
36 by 24.
Which should still keep it under the,
It's 864.
Yeah, you're okay.
what was it,
So-
1,000 square feet?
864, yeah.
Yeah, so, and yeah, under 1,000. So,
How many bedrooms are they gonna put in?
it's 2 bed, 1 bath,
2 bed, 1 bath in the ADU?
yes.
So new septic?
They will get one, but they're not gonna do that until they know that they can do this, but they will do another septic.
Or just upgrade the one they have?
And I made that suggestion, but they want their own, because just to this side, so the well, I think the well is right here. So the road goes down by this way, so they would be going
Yep.
that way. And you flip over,
Oh, okay.
that's the house, so the existing one is here.
Yep. So they gotta have a septic system,
Yeah.
They would come in and get a building permit for the ADU, but they'd have to have a septic design approval first.
Right, so I did make them aware of that, and so they just wanted to make sure that they could do that before they spent the money on the design.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Awesome.
Anything below 1,000 square feet is perfect.
And they're within their setbacks.
Yep.
So I mean, it depends upon their existing septic. If they went with just a one bedroom, and, their existing septic could take it, they could tie into that.
So I think the state minimum is 2-bedroom design, you can't get a 1-bedroom anymore.
Well, no, I'm talking about their existing septic for the house.
Oh,
Do you know what that is?
so they would have to upgrade it, so I think that's why they decided they would just go
Yeah,
with
just
another
go with
system
two,
on its
yeah.
own, and that way it has, the
It's
water's
better
there.
with a septic system. I do.
Yeah, and then there's less complications.
Yep, and you have
Oh,
pipe
yeah.
crush your yard.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So,
All right.
yeah, so they do need to fill out a building permit,
Yes, but the septic thing's first, because they can't get
Yes.
the building permit until they get septic.
so I will get
And
them.
that's all select board stuff.
Yeah. So, well, that will make them happy.
So you and I need to get together and update the building permit. You just got voluntold.
She's good at volunteering people.
That's all, what, I don't mind.
We really do. We need to update that by a bunch, so we will.
So let me know when you're available.
Any Friday,
This Friday or next Friday?
next Friday.
Perfect. I'll put it on my calendar.
Okay, Mark Brunel is not here, Joe Brown is not here. They contacted me interested in 2 subdivisions. At this point, they were reached out to for the meeting tonight, and I will wait to hear back from them at this point. Okay, so zoning is next. So I want Larry and John here as well for this discussion, so I'll bring it up again in April. But we need to have, we need to assist the zoning board in rewriting the zoning book.
Letters went out.
Huh?
The letters went out.
Yeah. And the zoning board's gonna get reappointed
They're
because
gonna get reappointed.
they're not,
Yeah, I heard.
So that has to be the focus for 26, 27, which is getting the zoning articles rewritten through legal.
Mr. Morgan,
Yeah.
I've already told you to go ahead and be appointed to the zoning board.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that because we
Why
don't need to. We can, because planning can oversee and delegate that operation to the people that will be reappointed to the zoning.
How many people do you think we're gonna have?
I don't know. Let's find out. Let's advertise. Seriously, let's advertise.
So we need to wait. I'm the only person besides the 2 alternates who is not up for.
Is Adam.
Is Adam.
Adam's good.
Yeah.
He's really good on it.
Yes, I agree.
So
Um,
I'd like to see him, and I'd like to see 2 more people, and that would be enough to get done what we need to get done in 26, 27.
Do you have some candidates that you're thinking of?
No, I've only told you to find some candidates.
I found the last bunch of candidates.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure that out. But we gotta, I gotta read through the zoning book with the idea that we're gonna rewrite it.
Do we have,
Throw it out and just adopt Goshen's great idea.
yeah, that would be great. What we need to do is we need to be able to incorporate, take it to Staples and have them put it into a Word document that we can edit.
Paul can do that. And if we have Adobe, we have Adobe Script, so we can convert that to a
Yeah.
Word.
I tried to do it too
Yeah, we
with
can
my
do that.
Adobe Script Pro, and it still comes up. with
So
all
one
kinds
of the problems that we're gonna have, one of the ways that we should do this to make it easy and effective is you gotta take the zoning laws and you gotta keep 90% of what's already there. Because you gotta go to the voters for this. And you can't go to the voters with the thing that they've used for the last 40 years that's no good, and 1,700 other things that you want to have for zoning ordinances. It would just be, this is going to be a process. It's the Titanic leaving the well, hopefully not the It's the Queen Mary leaving port. This is gonna be across the ocean cruise. It's gonna be 2 years to get this done. You have to, because people have to vote on it. So if you put something new in there that no one's seen before and they don't like it, they'd shoot the whole thing down for one ordinance. So we gotta get a base, we gotta get the districts, right? The districts are defined, what's allowed in the districts are defined, all of that stuff. That's what we need to put in front of the voters. And honestly, the best way to do that would be outside of March, would be to do a special just for zoning and do it in like September.
Isn't most of the zoning ordinance book now definitions?
It's definition, there are some rules in there, like there's some, so we have some districts and we have what you can do in the districts and that's important. And then all the definitions and all the policies and everything else. And so I don't think it's something we can edit and revise and get it done for like an August election. So
No.
maybe we just let it ride until March and we
We
go
have
with
to,
it.
so all of the zoning, all of the ordinances that we have should have been voted on by ballot.
Correct.
We need to,
We have one voted on by ballot.
yes, and we need to incorporate all of the ordinances that have been passed, such as the ADU and the cell tower and everything else, and incorporate them.
Into
Bruce
the new book.
Jasper's
Yeah.
change of how
Yep.
we voted for everybody into the existing zoning ordinance. Change, do some housekeeping on, take an S here, an apostrophe there, and then give it to the voters at next March on a ballot and say, this is not changed, this is what you voted on, but it's all incorporated into one book with some
So
textural text updates.
So select board liaison, what I need you to do is to reach out to Jane and ask Jane what the process is for this, because in the real world, each zoning ordinance has to be a separate warrant article or a separate ballot article. And we gotta find out what we can condense and what we can't condense.
We have to take it as it is. I already spoke to Matt Decker about it.
Okay.
The whole entire zoning book,
As it is.
as it is, we can insert the articles that have already been voted on
At town meeting.
at town meeting.
Yep.
We can make the changes such as something was misspelled.
Yep.
The punctuation is not correct.
Okay.
We have to add the definitions for those things that have already been voted on at town meeting, such as there's no definition for an ADU.
Yep.
And then give it to the people to vote on.
Okay. So that's a lot simpler than rewriting the whole existing book.
Correct.
So we just have to get the existing book onto Word so we can make those changes.
Yes.
I'll figure out how to do that by the April meeting. Okay? So that's really all we got this year. Yep.
That's it? Just redo the whole zone?
That's it. That's easier than the GMO. It's easier than the master plan. This should be a cakewalk for us. We've done a lot in the last year and a half. You know, we've done a lot. So we can get, I think this is super important to get done. And I don't really feel there's anything other than maps of slopes and lot lines.
No, we need that because
You do.
honestly.
You can
But
buy that.
we need a zoning ordinance. We need zoning ordinances.
Well, you can buy the maps, this you can't buy.
Correct.
I think simultaneously, while we're working on updating the zoning, we could also work on where we might want zoning to go, and we can get one passed as is, and then maybe look at, we could already have in place some of the things that are coming in that we know we're going to need for it to help manage the growth.
I'd like to add some economic.
Good
I'd like to add some economic development zones in that moving forward. We should give tax breaks along with town road for companies who want to improve their buildings.
You want a 79E? Has to be voted in by town.
I know.
So, yeah, we could do that.
That's
residential as well
28.
as
That's
commercial.
28. I know this. That's 28.
Probably 28,
Yeah.
definitely.
28.
Write it in the CIP.
But the other thing you don't need to vote in is the Coas County one. Coas County one.
The CPACER?
50% one? Select board has to approve it. Up to 50%. It's not up to, it's not 50%, it's not up to. But anyway. All right, you good? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Done?
So guess, what, did you hear what we learned about the school septic last week?
Uh-oh.
Good thing you got $1 million, isn't it?
Well,
Accepted?
no, that's the thing we learned.